idiots on a podcast. Like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Runs sucks.
We don't know if any of that's true, but Bill. Oh, Jordan, don't give me this technically crap. Come on.
Got personal this week.
Lots of stuff happened. Just
Chad Berger, Brian Dawson of USD.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You guys do it in a really professional manner, and it's awesome.
Good evening, Coyote fans. Welcome in to Season 2, Episode 29 of the Howling Podcast. Good to be back with you guys after we took the week off last week for the Summit League tournament. We're mic'd up, nerded out, ready for some chaos tonight. My name is Jordan Decker. I will be joined by fellow co-host Chad Berger and Mark Wendt momentarily. Friend of the show and USD Athletic Director Jon Schemmel joins us tonight. Lots to talk about with John. Always good to see him and talk USD athletics with him. So that'll be coming up here in a couple minutes. Full recap of the last 2 weeks, and we'll look forward to what's ahead as spring sports kind of kick off. We'll give our Maloney Real Estate Eyecharts of the week and our Dairy Queen Player of the Week to close out the show. Quick disclaimer, the opinions on this show are Mark, Chad's, and myself, and they do not represent USD or USD Athletics. Social channels, you can find us on X at HowlWithUs3. That's the number 3, at HowlWithUs3. Myself at JD605. Mark at WDiamond605. And Chad at Chad Berger, Birger, at Chad Berger. On Facebook, just search The Howling Podcast. Please like and follow our new Facebook page. On YouTube, welcome to those joining us live tonight on YouTube. If you don't follow us over there at The Howling Podcast, please smash the subscribe button. And finally, we're over on the gram, Instagram. Just search _Howling_podcast. That's the socials. As always, tonight's show is brought to you by our friends at 19 Brewing Company down in Vermilion. So before we get going, a quick word from our friend Katie over at 19 Brewing Company.
Looking for a place where good beer meets better company? Welcome to 19 Brewing Company, Vermilion's first craft brewery and home to Coyote Legacy Blonde Ale. Brought to you by 2 USD alumni, Coyote Legacy isn't just any beer. It's a chance to give back to student scholarships while enjoying a refreshing blonde ale. With 12 rotating taps, a flavor-it-yourself seltzer, and homemade root beer, we have something for every Coyote fan. 19 Brewing Company. Good beer, better company.
With that, we're going to welcome in the guys. Chad, Mark, good to see you.
Happy March Madness.
Great to be back.
Did we survive this massive blizzard?
Well, hey, I wanted to ask, what year is it, guys? What year is it?
2026.
Okay, so we should probably update the slide up here where it says title sponsor for 2025. But we'll make sure we get that.
If you'd like to nominate an Eyechart of the Week nominee, leave that in the comments. That is at Chad Berger or at WDiamond605 for that one.
Interesting.
Speaking of commenting, you can actually chime in during the show if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Just go ahead and put a comment in there. Some of the comments may be featured on the show, especially if you have questions. Make sure they're appropriate. Make sure they're good to go if you want those to be featured on the show. And we should be able to pull some of those up. Mark, tell us about the last couple of weeks here.
We should not skip a week because there are a lot of words on this here slide. Summer League tournament, that's where we were last week. Men dropped one to Omaha. Unfortunately for Omaha, they're still in the belly button of America, so that will not change. Women defeated Denver and then dropped one to South Dakota State. Softball split 1-1 with Colorado State and Northern Colorado.
Stuff happened.
Correct. Their first home game of the season versus Mount Marty, 2 touchdowns to none. And then they played some Power 5 schools here this weekend. Led in 3 of them and actually beat Minnesota. We'll talk about that later. Swim and dive was at the Zone Diving Championships. Women's golf finished 10th out in SoCal. Men's 6th at Donald Ross Collegiate. Track and field, a couple pole vaulters at the Indoor NCAA Championships. And tennis, they need a pep talk from Chad Berger. Dropped 3 since we've last talked.
That's a lot of stuff, Mark. I'm impressed that you got through all that.
I skimmed through some of it.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, Jordan, you want to introduce our guest?
Yes, it's been a while, but we're going to welcome back our friend of the show, the head man, athletic director of USD Athletics, Jon Schemmel. John, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we do have a live studio audience
Yeah.
this year.
That's
So.
first applause I've gotten in a couple of years, I think. So, appreciate that. But
John,
excited to
what
be
happened in this picture real quick? Hold on. I want to talk about this photo. Yeah.
Yep.
Was Jordan kind of like ignoring your handshake there, or what was going on with that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those cold things where I went up for a little dap and a bro hug, and he just turned around and figured it was a good time for a selfie. So
My narcissistic
Jordan,
self.
right? It's always a good time for a selfie. Yeah.
John, shades inside though. That's a choice. We've done that before. Mark and I did that at the men's basketball game, the Hawaiian night.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
famous enough to do it, but
my excuse is I have double vision from when I got knocked in the face to end my baseball career. So my glasses are all prescription just to offset the double vision. I don't know what yours is, but
I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember the last time I went to an eye doctor. So
yeah,
maybe I should, and maybe I'd get an eye chart, and I could also have one at the games too.
Yeah. I see two of Mark's eye chart every time he flashes it up there. So.
Well, hey, John, let's segue into that first question tonight. Let's start with a season that for one squad is wrapped up, and as we just found out, another squad gets an opportunity to keep playing in women's basketball. But let's just start with basketball. You know, your thoughts on the season, and you know, what are the next steps now for both those squads?
Yeah, I think you know, ultimately, as you said, the women's one. We just found out. I mean, literally minutes before coming on the show, we don't find out far ahead from you all that it's official. We've been talking with them for a little bit, so we were pretty confident in our standing there. Excited for that group to be able to earn the right to continue to play, and they certainly have. And it's been a great turnaround with 13 new girls on the team, and so excited for them to keep playing basketball. And then you know, on the men's side, just a crazy season, and you know, right when you think you know, it can't get any worse. You know, you lose another starter in Uzi, the last regular season game of the year. Really thought they put a great effort all season, really, but certainly that continued in Omaha. And really, I think going to halftime, we're down 5, I think, and ultimately just the lack of depth. You know, bodies available, shows, and guys getting tired at the end, but. Really proud of their effort, and now they're completely in the mode of trying to keep things together. And now we, you know, the portal's not open yet, but it feels like it is, just because you're trying to keep guys around, and the portal opens, I think, around the Final Four time for that 2-week period. So I know Eric and his staff are busy meeting with all the players and incoming recruits, and then obviously getting ready for the portal itself and seeing what's out there. And certainly fundraising and doing things to make sure we're in a good position and well positioned to bring people in on both the men's and women's side through the portal.
Jordan, do you have a follow-up you wanted to ask on that?
No.
Okay. All right. So we didn't get a whole lot of time to rehearse this beforehand.
Yeah.
So, sorry about that.
I couldn't figure out how to get the mic going, so I didn't help with the prep work today. I apologize for that.
So, John, there's been kind of an interesting relationship between the USD athletic department and the local/regional media here in South Dakota over the past couple months, over the past couple years. You know, kind of going back, the Argus Leader dropped coverage of USD several years ago. It always feels like, you know, several of the media companies kind of don't always give the Yotes a lot of coverage. And then, you know, lately some of the local media have been throwing, you know, things around like the little brother thing that a local media person, John Gaskins, who you then went on his show recently, threw out recently, and just kind of wondering, like, what's the relationship between the media and the USD athletic department, and what what are you trying to do to help, potentially repair that relationship a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think overall, I think the relationship's good. I think, there's the world of media and sports coverage in particular is so different today. And obviously add in just kind of, there's all these different groups and podcasts and emerging things. There's a lot of change in the media coverage, certainly in South Dakota and the Sioux Falls area over the last couple of years. And enter that into a chaotic world of Division I college athletics. So a lot of things get said. It's hard to always keep track of what's true, what isn't. And that's more just from a granular standpoint. I think when you look at it from USD in our standpoint, I mean, one, I'm damn proud of the University of South Dakota. I feel very fortunate to be part of it, and certainly leading our athletic department. I was here for 6-7 years, 2011 through 2017. I feel like we've come a long way, and certainly I think when certain statements are made, I have no problem calling that out. And there was a statement made. I was sitting at my son's hockey game in Yankton, South Dakota, and saw it, and talked to my boss, and then my wife was sitting right next to me, and she kind of rolled her eyes at me like, "Are you really going to say that?" And I did, but the little brother comment, I certainly didn't appreciate. And but I would say this, I don't get too caught up in, well, we need to have more fans come because that's what South Dakota State does, or we have to have more people wearing shirts because South Dakota State has more. Ultimately, I believe wholeheartedly, when we win, the coverage will come. I don't know that coverage has always been accurate with our winning. I think, this football season, I think, is a good kind of example of that. But ultimately, we've got to continue to fight for that, and I'll speak up when I feel like it's appropriate, or if a comment's made that I don't agree with. But I think on the other side of it too, we've got to win, and we've got to continue to win, and win big, and draw those eyeballs in, and do those types of things. And I hear all the ratings, the statistics, and I'm not arguing them, certainly, but I will always fight for our brand. I believe in what we've done. I believe in what we're doing, and certainly believe in the future that we have and where we're going. And so I use platforms, candidly, to talk to USD fans, people that want to come on there and blast me for this, that, or the other thing. It's really easy for me. I just block them immediately. And so I live in Candyland on X. So you want to throw a hate comment at USD or at me, and I'll just block you, and I'll never see it again. So I keep it pretty simple that way, and pretty lighthearted. I certainly don't take myself too seriously when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I'll always fight for our position in this, and I believe that coverage has gotten better and will continue to get better.
John, I will ask one thing about obviously my group text blew up here earlier this week when a tweet came out from the John Gaskin show. Obviously, how is your relationship with PD, and what are the chances he coaches beyond 26, 27?
Yeah, I mean, my relationship with Eric's very, very good. It always has been. We communicate often. We always have, and I think there's a great chance. I want nothing more than for Coach to be the guy. We've talked often about being the guys and doing this together to cut the nets down at the Summit League tournament and going to the big dance and doing that together. We talked about that pretty quickly when I got here in January of 24. And so that's the goal. And I absolutely believe Eric is going to be the guy and his staff to do that. And we just got to continue to take steps in our program. And I think, as I talked about in that interview, when I got here, there were steps we needed to take administratively to continue to elevate our program. and put the program in a better position to succeed. And so Eric and I have been arm in arm every step of the way there, and that hasn't changed. And we've taken some good steps the last couple of years. This year certainly had a lot of bad luck there, but obviously we know he's heading into next year and he's coaching, and we're working on the plan for next year, and we'll continue to do that. And I absolutely believe and want Eric to be the coach here for a long time into the future.
I texted this to Mark and Chad during the selection show. I'm like, I cannot wait to be sitting in the SCSC next year, this time on Selection Sunday, when we're just waiting for the USD squad's names to be called. It's going to be great. And especially for men's basketball who haven't done it before, like it's going to be fun, and I can't wait. I think, I mean, to me, it's, we've done so many great things here in Division I and in our growth over the nearly 2 decades, whatever it is, officially right at that now. And you guys, you've been loyal fans from the very beginning. I started here in 2011. We've seen some of the grind through it years, and certainly in men's basketball, we've been right there. And I believe, and Eric was a part of that. And I know that was a big reason in bringing him back here. And so that moment is something I know Eric thinks about a lot. I think about it all the time. And I can't wait for that. And I think we're a lot closer than people think. And you always look back at the what if type things. Certainly if we were healthy this year, hard not to imagine it would have been a different type season for this group. But obviously I think if we can keep the group together and continue to build, and Eric and his staff have done an amazing job recruiting over the last couple of years, I think we're really well positioned for the future as well. And John, to wrap up. Oh, sorry, John. And to wrap up basketball here, you talk about the recruiting classes for both squads coming in are phenomenal. High talent, high motor, great on the defensive end. But I just want to wrap it up with the Summit League. As all of us went to it, it was awesome to see and to sit across and see all of the different fan bases represented for once and actually have a good showing. I know there's a fan base or two that whined about the new ticket thing. But I just wanted you to, explain to Coyote fans that maybe they got a ticket late, maybe they were sitting up in the balcony or the second level, why it's important, in the fall when you guys announce, hey, now's the time to get those all session passes, why that's a benefit, because a lot of those seats that had other fan bases in it, that could be Coyote fans. And going into next year, there's a lot of potential with both squads.
No doubt. And I think kind of the next step. I mean, listen, I know we always give the tournament and whatever fan base a hard time about things, but you got to tip your cap to the fan bases that do show up and do buy those tickets. And ultimately the great thing about the new setup is it's going to run more consistently with what other tournaments do. And by that, I mean, ultimately every single year, you're going to reset and have the opportunity to buy those tickets. And so I know it was a new concept for everyone this year, but I hope Coyote fans can understand and know that we'll have a time period where you can buy those tickets through us and really get them between the baselines in those seats. And within reason, of course, we could basically sell as many as we could put out there, knowing we're not going to sell 8,000 of them. Right. But so we can sell those, buy those. I bought my own 4 for my family just so we didn't have to deal with the ticket mess, and our seats were great. And they were one of the 2 USD sections. And it'll reset next year. And so hopefully we'll get some more fans and some more red in there. But they're the all session passes. I think this year we were selling them through the schools until like November 1st. And that's really the deadline when we need our fans to buy them. Because after that, they go back to the Summit League tournament and they start doing what they do to sell them off. And obviously it's a little different process at that point. So We'll communicate it out again as we did last year, and hopefully fans are more ready for it in the new system. But we're certainly excited about it. It definitely looked a lot better this year than it has in the past.
For sure.
All right, John, I got to ask you the hard-hitting question here.
Okay.
Dollar Dome Dogs and Dollar Beverages was awesome. How come we don't do that more often? I mean, some of the things that you guys did this year were amazing as far as the promotions and in-game activities. What are some things that you kind of are taking as, this was a success, this was something we need to improve on for next year?
Yeah, I think we talked about that. We talked about potentially expanding those types of things. Depending on the promotion, when you talk about dollar dogs, dollar beers, things like that, ultimately it costs us, the department, anywhere from, I think, $3,000 to $6,000, $7,000, depending on how many people come in. So it's that part, there's a real cost to it on our end. And then I think then the other part of it is, you can balance that with, okay, well, if we're selling more tickets, is the net delta worth it? Well, if you start doing that all the time, it starts losing the luster a little bit too. So, I think it's not the easiest thing either, just process wise and working with Sodexo or whomever it would be. So certainly something we're going to continue to do as we continue to try to grow things. I think most importantly and more importantly, we want to continue to put a product out there that people want to come watch, and we know that means a winning product. And we're committed to doing that and trying to get people. I tell people all the time, every game can be SDSU. The only difference is the amount of people that show up. But I can assure you, if the dome's sold out and there's 3,000-4,000 people or more in the SESC, it's not going to matter who are playing, because it's the people that bring the energy. And once that energy is in the building, the opponents are relevant at that point. And I know the rivalry will always bring a little more juice, but the energy is palpable, and it doesn't take much to load it up and make it loud in the arena. And but we'll continue to balance all of those things for sure. And we were definitely really excited about how those promotions went. And they'll certainly be something we take a pretty good hard look at. I think to the second part of that, Chad, I think some of the things that I'm really proud of in our department, and I give Jaron Duffy and Corey and really the whole external staff a ton of credit for. So many of our heritage type promotions continue to just go tremendously. Those are really well thought out. They mean a lot, not just to our student athletes, whether it's mental health awareness, domestic violence prevention and awareness, Black History Month, all of these different types of things that have gone so well. And Jared and the external staff, led by Corey, have done such a tremendous job bringing those in. And the results, I think, speak for themselves. They've been really, really well received. And we have a lot of fun. And I think the people that are part of it, both people that just come to the games as well as people that are directly engaged in those promotions, really enjoy those things.
Quick follow-up. Yep. Quick follow-up on that. So one of the things I noticed, you guys did the grab-and-go concessions, both at football and basketball. People didn't seem to use those very frequently. How could we get more people to use grab-and-go concessions? And then secondly, have you considered having standalone beer sales? Because inevitably you have two lines at the concessions. One's food only, the other one's food and beer. I'll stand in line at the food and beer line, and I'm trying to, just grab a Coors Light. And two people in front of me will just get a nachos and a Coke or something like that. And there's a separate line for food only, and people don't read the signs. So have you considered doing maybe a beer only type of thing there too? Yeah.
I think as far as the grab and go stuff, certainly something we continue to plan to expand on. So I think as we've seen with other arenas, even the Denny in Sioux Falls, it took people a while to really start getting used to that and understand the convenience. I actually walked around, as I always do those things. Just one, I'm a nervous wreck during games, so I can't sit still. And two, I am just always walking around and paying attention to what's going on around me. Even at the Denny, I felt like the grab and goes were always light compared to the walk up concession stand. So I think it's just kind of having it be more consistent. In the new dome renovation, when we get there, the east side will really predominantly become grab and go. And so it's something we're kind of building up to get there. And then as far as the individual drink to food type thing, that is also something we've talked about with Sodexo. Ultimately it comes down, I think a lot of times it comes down to the number of people at games. If there's a certain number, there's a cost for Sodexo to have more staff and more stands and other things like that. And so really some of that can be based off their metrics too, and not just ours. So we can't necessarily just say, hey, go do this. They might have some standards and metrics that they have to hit to do that. But I do think, Chad, you'll see more of that as we continue to move forward year over year. And I know we have several review sessions with Sodexo, and I believe we have a meeting with them next week or the following, even just to kind of review the whole year. And I know that's on the punch list. Those types of things are for sure.
John, I want to switch gears just a little bit. Since the last time we talked to you, obviously we announced the move to Nike for our apparel and jerseys and whatnot. I'm curious how, number one, how those discussions take place, and number two, how much input does USD have in what those jerseys look like? Do we just give them the colors and the logos and say have fun, or do we have some input?
Yeah. No, it's one, we're incredibly excited about the transition to Nike, which will be official here July 1st. I think we got our first Nike shipment in a couple weeks ago, which was volleyball shoes, and I was so excited I made our equipment people open it up just so I could see it. Certainly a lot of work, and we'll keep our equipment room and really our whole staff really busy here over the summer. But I think we're to the point now where we're just getting really excited about it. I will say, as far as the color schemes go, well, even I'll back up to the decision and the process, Mark. Really that's a several month to a year long process. Generally speaking, we put out a bid. We have conversations with all the vendors ahead of time just to make sure, we want to make sure they know the bid's coming. We obviously want as many bids as we can get. But going through that process, I spoke with President Gestring a lot, especially when we got to the point of considering a switch. A switch is not cheap. It's an investment. And ultimately, I think we got to the point where we really felt good about the agreement long-term, but the transition, what does that look like? And really want to thank President Gestring for her support in that, because when we started talking about it, we didn't want to transition over a 2 or 3 year period. And what I mean by that is we don't want football, basketball, and a few other sports out there at Nike, and then we're bringing a handful of sports along over a 2 or 3 year period. And so we wanted, whatever we were going to do, we wanted it to be that July 1st of 2026. And President Gestring was very supportive of that. I also think just to switch to Nike from a availability, where's our brand, buy our brand, it's available in retail. I think that really excited marketing, and marketing ultimately oversees Charlie's and that retail outlet. And so, I think there was a lot of institutional excitement around the move, which made some of those conversations much easier. And then I think as far as the switch, what I would say is definitely we're going to have a different red. It's going to be, I think what I've heard it compared to a lot more is it's going to be like a Georgia type red. That's what Nike's red is. Ultimately, their varsity red is a little bit brighter. So it looks really good. We've already, seen samples of it. So it'll just look and feel different, but obviously we'll be in it, and that's what'll be on the racks. I was in Shields last week. They have a lot of Nike stuff up already. We have started communicating with Shields directly through the athletic department and our equipment staff. So we do feel confident that in the coming months and years, they'll be carrying much more stuff that you'll see on the sideline. And I think Nike will help with that. But yeah, all these companies carry different reds. And so you just kind of fit into whatever red line best fits, to what you have been doing. And this one will be a little bit different for sure. But I think people will really like it.
Interesting. Just a quick comment. As a shoe nerd, I'm really excited for the movie.
Yeah, my wife might kick me out of the house if I don't put the Nike app away here pretty soon. The number of Jordans that are either already in my closet or waiting to be ordered. She's teasing me because you could wait and see what you get and then go ahead and make some purchases. Anyone who knows me knows that's not happening. So July 1, I will be ready to rock every day in Nike. There's no doubt about that.
Looking forward.
Yeah, John, I want to ask one more off that because I think apparel availability has been for lack of a better term, a complaint amongst Coyote fans the last decade plus. Yeah. So I'm curious, for one, I'm super excited for Nike. I agree. Like Shields carries Nike USD stuff that I've seen, and it's phenomenal stuff. I can't wait for more. But what is that relationship with USD Athletics, with Nike, with the BSN Sports, and then USD marketing? Like, how does that relationship all tie in together? Availability, not only at Shields, but, at like Walmart, and I'm selfishly just thinking of Sioux Falls here, but like Target, Walmart, other outlets that maybe haven't carried as much, if at all, any USD stuff. Is that something we'll see as well in the coming months and years?
Yeah, I think you'll see a big difference for sure. In the availability, just in the sense of when being with Adidas over the last 15 years, we've worked directly with Adidas out of Lincoln, which is a great thing. It was a great thing for us in our relationship with our student athletes. Where that presents challenges is Adidas, based out of Lincoln, isn't necessarily focused on anything but our athletic department and our student athletes. And so no matter what, I think had we stayed with Adidas, switching to Nike, considered New Balance, or obviously Under Armour was always going to be a hard pill to swallow for me, considering what's going on up north, and now certainly having the school further to north of them. That would always be a hard sell, I think, on this campus. And I think President Gestring would agree with that. But now enter in our partnership with BSN. So BSN themselves, we will order directly through them. And this is what they do. And so the BSN relationship will not only we'll have a direct line for the athletic department, obviously the major focus with our student athletes and coaches and staff. But BSN also then has multiple channels that our marketing arm can directly communicate with. We've already set up and improved our communication kind of between the athletic department and Charlie's and the marketing group on our campus. But ultimately, Charlie's will be able to kind of direct order, so we don't have to funnel their stuff through our equipment staff and be doing those types of things. They can make direct orders. BSN will know exactly what we're ordering, and they can do that, and it's through a retail channel. And so I think that will improve. And then also BSN we'll be able to sell online directly. And so through our website, through other things, you can buy USD gear. Each team will be able to sell their own stuff, which I know will make a lot of people excited, families, other things like that. We get those comments all the time. Hey, I just want a USD soccer sweatshirt. And I think on its face, that sounds really easy to do and pull off. It's not the easiest thing in the world when you're talking about orders of 6, 8, 10, 12 in a short period of time. Well, now this enters in those flash sales, and BSN will be able to help for that. And BSN, I remember this through the conversation with all of them, but everything they do online, whether it's to fans or anything like that, I think they promise it's no more than 2-week turnaround. And so that'll also help when we have military appreciation days, heritage games, all these other types of things. And we have this gear that I think becomes really popular. Ultimately, we can get out in front of that, sell through that method. And so I even think you'll see a lot of improvement on those types of things as well. And all of those, we get a little kickback too. So even buying through that, you're also kind of indirectly supporting the student athletes in the department as well.
And that's the key other half. Yote fans, you got to buy the stuff too. You can't complain about stores not having stuff when you don't buy the stuff. And Coach Vitham has said, represent the paw, wear the paw. So if you're in need of shirts and stuff, when you're at Shields and et cetera, all these other places, as more gear comes out, buy the stuff, right? It only benefits USD.
I will say I asked the question directly in a meeting with Shields, just what is the ratio and of sales between the two schools, and it's 6-1. And so when the stuff's out there, we need our fans to buy it. And ultimately, if we want our rack to grow in Shields, I promise you, Shields just wants to make money. And I've had my brother-in-law's worked with them for 25 years, and they run a damn good business. And I promise you, if we sell just as much stuff as SDSU or any other school, it'll be just as prominent. But that is their ratio right now. And Charlie's does a good job picking up. I think that's gotten better for sure over the last year plus, and I think that'll continue to improve. And ultimately, we just need, just like everything else, we need people to show up at games. I get away with not wearing a suit and tie. Thankfully, President Gestring allows me to do that because I can't stand wearing a shirt and tie. There's nothing worse, but ultimately I believe in wearing the brand, and I do my best to be a walking billboard. And every time I travel, and I travel quite a bit, walking through an airport, I get stopped and asked at least 3, 4, or 5 times, no matter which airport I'm at. And I think that's a good thing. And I'd encourage fans that are passionate like you guys to wear it as much as you can.
John, I'm going to shift the conversation a little bit. Take you back to Friday, February 6th. We all kind of got the news in the afternoon, found out through social media and stuff that Coach Johansson was leaving. And then shortly afterwards, you came out with the announcement that Coach Vitham was moving into that role. Tell us a little bit about that process. How early did you know, and what was the process like for naming Coach as the replacement?
Yeah, I think as far as Vitz goes, I and I think a lot of people were drawn to Vitz the second he walked on this campus over 2 years ago, and just his leadership, his voice in the locker room. We're always watching from afar and picking up things, talking to people. And certainly that's when it helps to have a father and a brother that work in the industry. I can always kind of do some back scouting without anyone ever knowing I'm doing that. And everything I was getting about him was unbelievably positive. Obviously, Coach Nielsen brought him in, and then naming Travis, just like I did with Coach Nielsen on, trying to identify a potential successor. Trav and I talked about that pretty early in the process after Travis started last January. So really, then when you get down to it, the process moves really, really quick in the world today. I knew on Wednesday there was a potential that there would be a change, that Trav might be moving on. And ultimately, Rutgers, I don't know exactly how many times they offered it to him, but ultimately it became a pretty significant life-changing amount for him. And, ultimately between Wednesday afternoon, evening, and then Travis coming back to my basement Friday late morning. You know, it was an emotional conversation with he and I, not screaming and yelling, just more kind of tearful, you know, kind of frog in your throat type stuff. You know, very quickly after kind of having that conversation and you know, I immediately turned it to Vitz with Travis, and Travis immediately, you know, got on his bandwagon and really was pushing for Vitz very quickly. So between 11 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon when the team meeting was, what I would say is, you know, I kind of had a window there. Now I got to talk to President Gestring, let her know. Obviously, she had known there was a potential about Travis since Wednesday evening, afternoon, and ultimately brought Vitz over and talked to him a little bit, brought Corey over to talk to him a little bit. I let Corey and Vitz talk alone. The three of us spoke for a bit together. We kicked Vitz out. Corey and I talked a little bit. We were both 100% committed at that point. So I called President Gestring back. I guess that would have been sometime 2:30. Now I'm just trying to figure out if I can tell the team at 4 o'clock or not. And so once President Gestring was on board and she was gone, so I was talking to her wherever she was at the time. So she's talking to the Board of Regents. I'm trying to get that done. Corey and I bring Vitz back to the house to let him know. And then between 2:30 and 4 o'clock, we're just coming up with a plan on how we're going to release it, tell the team all of these different things. And so really you kind of run your search, you make your decision, you come up with a plan to announce, you do a week and several days worth of work in the matter of 30, 45 minutes, it feels like. And so that's why, you know, we look back on those things and Corey and I still kick ourselves. The funny thing is we had no home athletic events that week. And that just does not happen in our business between August 31st and May 10th. To not have anything at home on your campus is just unheard of. And so I was pushing people out. I canceled administrative meetings on Monday. I was telling people, you're crazy if you're not taking a day off and getting away on Friday. Well, people listened. So we were pretty loose on Friday. And I think it was just Corey and I. Jared may have hustled back. I can't remember. But when we announced it, it was a really special moment. And the group really erupted, and Corey and I were kicking ourselves immediately for not at least pulling our phones out and catching it. But that was really special. But man, it was a chaotic few days and certainly a chaotic afternoon. And really, I give President Gestring and the Board of Regents a lot of credit. They moved very, very quickly for us, and because I wanted to be able to make sure we weren't going to have this period of time where the team was questioning or having doubt. And, you know, ultimately, if I don't have approval to announce Vitz, or we're not moving that direction, or we're not ready to move that direction, you know, I got to have that team meeting at 4, let Travis do his thing, and then try to keep that group calm, you know, whether it's for another day, several days, a week, until we have a new coach. And so I was very thankful to be able to do that. But you're kind of preparing all different scenarios in that time frame. And but Vitz was great, and he's been great ever since. His staff has been tremendous, and you know, within days it was just it almost felt normal again, which was really great and really comforting, I think, for me and for all of us, that we made the right decision.
Yeah, I know us fans were probably last on the list of that, but I was grateful for that as well. The panic time was very short. So, and we had Vitz on shortly after he was announced. He was gracious enough to come on. What an impressive guy.
Yeah, he is. And he's he's a South Dakota guy, right? He's a coyote. He's a Vermilionite. He's all of those things. He's a grew up farm kid, teacher, family, all of those types of things. And he fits USD and Vermilion like a glove. And I think his family has very much felt that way since they got here. And so really excited about it for sure.
So kind of a follow-up to that is when you're obviously you've hired Carrie and a couple football coaches now. When you're looking for qualities in a new coach, is how long are they going to stay here part of that equation at all? Or are you just looking for the best coach you can find?
Honestly, it's predominantly the best coach I can find. I think, you start getting into that game. I don't know. I don't know how you vet that. Ultimately, I think everyone says they're committed to being here for a long period of time. And then someone puts a lottery ticket in their hand, a winning lottery ticket in their hand that changes their life. I mean, how do you blame them? I mean, in that sense, it's really no different than a kid. I say it all the time. We're not losing kids for $50,000, $100,000. I mean, these kids are getting $250,000, $500,000, million plus type offers that change their life. I mean, how are you upset with them when they take that? No different for the adults in the room. Ultimately, when those opportunities come and they feel like they've got to do it, you kind of celebrate them on the way out, even though it sucks at the time. But for me, I'll always die on the sword of let's get the best people here, even if that means they're here for a short period of time. And Travis was here for 7 years. He just happened to be the head coach for a year. So it was no short stint. The head coaching stint was short. But I think Vitz can be here a long time. I think he loves this place. But ultimately I want him to be successful. And when we have successful coaches, opportunities might come, and that's just part of it. And so you're always preparing for what's next, never really trying not to be caught flat-footed. But I think in today's world, even if you're at the top, the movement's every bit as consistent because, if you don't win in 2 years there, they got no problem paying $60 million to buy you out. And so it's all the same at every level, just for different reasons. And I'll die on the hill of turning over because of success, every time.
John, we asked you this last year. This is a really serious one, so I want an honest answer. Okay. We asked you this last year. We talked to Travis about this a little bit. Didn't bring it up with Vitz. But the golf thing this summer, the golf tour, Chad, Mark, and myself would, I believe, make excellent caddies. And this would be excellent content. So I'm just going to double down.
Yep.
If you're looking for some caddies for you, for coaches, I'm just going to put it out there. We're up for it. If you need someone to make a 25-foot putt, probably not asking Chad or Mark. I'd be happy to step in. I just want to put it out there again.
Well, I'm assuming that'd be the kind of round where we'd have a few adult beverages. So by the back nine, I wouldn't be making any 20-footers either. But yeah, no, I mean, I'd love that. I go around the course pretty lighthearted these days. It's the one thing I do to get away. And thankfully, I don't take it very seriously. When I play and I'm able to play, which I play less than Heidi and Jameson do these days, but I can pop it around pretty good. But I'm there either to relax and just turn it off, listen to music and drive around, or have a good time. And living on the golf course certainly helps a lot because I know I don't have to drive anywhere. And that's my release. So I'd love to do that. I have no idea. I've never golfed with Vitz. I'd played with Trav a couple times, so I knew he was all BS when he was talking like he could beat me. But yeah, I mean, I'll take that challenge with Vitz. I think the only person I'm really scared of in our department, besides the golf coaches and the golfers, of course, is Logan Bornhold, our lead fundraiser. She's a stick, and I'm not sure I can take her down when she's playing from the red tees at the Bluffs.
I've been in a group behind her before at a charity event and watched her drive. And I just am like, I'm so glad that they're not watching me tee off because she's phenomenal.
Yeah.
What's your handicap these days? Can you share that? Are you willing to share that?
Yeah. I mean, I usually end the summer somewhere in the 3 or 4 range. And then, I start a little bit higher than that usually. So, I put the clubs away more or less August 1st when the student athletes start coming back. And I don't play until I go to Arizona or Florida on a fundraising trip and usually get a round or 2 in there, and then don't play again until we get going out here. And I play a lot of golf with Cass, my good friend here. And other than that, that's about it. That's the escape for me. I don't fish. I'm not a big hunter. I go hunting once or twice a year. Golf's kind of it. Watching Jameson play sports now is getting fun because he's 10. I'm not the crazy dad out there screaming and yelling, hoping that he's the next prodigy. I don't need him to be our retirement plan, so I'm good there. So it's fun just watching him play but yeah, I mean, I love to golf. There was a summer I got down to a 1, and I took it way too seriously. I have a lot more fun with it now, and it's a lot more fun popping around at a 3, 4, or 5. I'll tell you that. But I don't care if I shoot even par, under par, or 85. Doesn't make any difference to me.
Love it.
So you're not going to be missing any Yotes games for flag football playoff games or anything like that.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, that's not the plan.
Okay. Sorry. I got like through a third of the questions on my list here, John, but I think we're going to just wrap it up right there. Thanks so much for coming on tonight. And like I said, I got a bunch more questions, and I think people out there do too. I'm
never short-winded, so I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, we had questions about NIL coming in. We had questions about different types of gear, the Dollar Dome dogs. People love that. Recruiting questions, all that different type of stuff. So I know last time you came on, you sat and you just answered a lot of the questions afterwards, but we really appreciate you coming on and just thanks so much.
Yeah, you bet. No, I appreciate what you guys do. I really mean that. And love you guys. Love your passion, number one. But appreciate what you guys do. You're a lot of fun to listen to. I know our student athletes and coaches and staff all love coming on here. And, we're looking forward to, obviously still got some things to do to finish the year out. But obviously looking forward to another year and bigger and better every year. But appreciate what you guys do and go Yotes as always.
Go Yotes.
Thanks, John. Give our best to the fans.
Will do. Thanks, guys.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Batting 1,000.
Yeah, never had a bad guest on here, but yep, everyone's awesome. Really appreciate John.
We could have done a 2-hour show. I know I had a few more. Chad, you had a few more.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't get to some of my hard hitting questions here. I just asked one about hot dogs, but lots of good stuff there. But we do have a lot of Yote results to cover here, and so Mark, I know news and notes.
If you haven't checked it out, if you can't get enough of us, we were honored enough to join Higher Power Sports and their podcast called Mondays with Mick. Really, it was a fun conversation. We were on it, so I'm slanted, but I really enjoyed that talk with them. So YouTube up Higher Power Sports and check that out. It was a fun talk. Yotes women basketball commit Ashlyn Carlo Blunt earned South Dakota State A Spirit of Sioux Award, kind of a prestigious award they've given since that young lady passed away a number of years ago. Unfortunately, her team lost in the finals, but really looking forward to her in red. On the same note, Rowan Jacoby won Class 1A Player of the Year award in Iowa. So there's some firepower coming to Vermilion women's basketball wise. So USD Triathlon earned Scholar All-American team honor, Chelsea Weber, first team in that. We'll get triathlon on the show here eventually. Abby Brown, the week we were off, Summit League tournament week, was named Summit League Player, Peak Performer of the Week. And as we've been mentioning, football, volleyball season tickets are on sale right now. Go get them, gobble them up, sit in next to us, 106 row 2. Calling all Yotes, April 17th. Tickets, tables, and chairs are available now.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff happened.
Yeah. Lots of stuff happened.
Exactly.
Well, there were also some games. Men's basketball wrapped up their season, finished with a 16-16 record on the season, 8-8 in the conference. Swept South Dakota State in the regular season for the first time since the 96-97 season. That was before Jordan was even born.
That's
Stats.
That's false.
Score. Points per game,
I'll take it as a
77.
compliment. I look that
Yeah.
young. Okay.
Yeah. Defensive points per game, 78.7. So Cam Fens finished first team all Summit League and all defensive team. And it was just great to have him, friend of the show, Cam Fens. He was fantastic all season long. Great job from him. Jordan Crawford was also second team all Summit League. And the seniors that were honored, I think we mentioned this on the last show we did, but Cam Fens, Silas Benyon, Trent Hudgens, and Caleb Kaiser. So thanks so much to those guys for everything that they've done for the program.
Yeah, that was they never quit. That's the thing I remember about that team. Like there was many times throughout the season and even in games, you're like, I mean, it'd be very easy just to tap out here and call it a day, but they never ever did. They kept fighting, and that's what I'll remember about this particular squad.
Fighting through adversity. I don't recall that much adversity through a basketball program in my time being a Coyote fan. So shout out to PD and the staff and the student athletes for taking it head on. And Mark likes to give me crap for when I yell fight, but for fighting every single game, they represented themselves and USD top notch. And I hope we get them all back.
Yeah.
I was going to say it would have been easy to real easy to just December 31st up at North Dakota State. Just absolutely get destroyed in that one, finish the game. There's 6 guys essentially in the rotation. Could have just called it a season at that point, but these guys really stepped up and did some great things. So excellent job by the men's basketball team, finishing with that 4 seed in the Summit League and doing some great things. Women's basketball season not over yet, as we mentioned earlier. Have a 23-9 record, finished conference season with 12-4, reached the semis of the Summit League tournament, had that big win over Kansas State. We talked about that on an earlier show. Plus 12 win improvement, which is the 4th best in the NCAA. 18th season in program history with 20 plus wins. Didn't get the WBIT, got the WNIT, as we'll show you later on. The information for that should come out tomorrow. So make sure to go to goyotes.com, follow along on the socials to see what's going on there. And the seniors this year, Patience Williams, friend of the show, Angelina Robles, friend of the show, Josie Hill, and Elise Turbiatis, also a friend of the show. So just spectacular to get to know those ladies over the season, and looking forward to continuing to support them through this WNIT run coming up here.
Yeah, hopefully some home games, because the last WNIT run, the last couple have been exciting, even the ones we didn't necessarily, and obviously we won the one, but Michigan State comes to mind as a classic game in women's basketball history as well, with Chloe Lamb hitting that 3 there with a couple seconds to go. So always enjoy.
I was going to say, should we bring Jon Schemmel back on and ask him if? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
we won't do that.
Hey, I looked at the list. We're cutting nets again. I looked at the list. We're cutting nets again.
Yep. Might as well, right?
As well.
All right. Women's basketball. Mark, you want to go through this one?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just gloss over it. I posted this on my social media and I think on our Howling podcast as well. But just you go down this list here, the improvement from year 1 to year 2 under Coach Amy. Everything is trending upward. A couple of things I'd point out: the assist to turnover ratio ended up at 0.85. I think early in the season that was well over one. And I don't know. I mean, we can have Coach Amy on again sometime and ask her, but I don't know if it was just the familiarity of the Summit League, playing everybody twice, or I know we played South Dakota State 3 times towards the end of the season. So that number did end up higher than last. And obviously we mentioned the wins plus 12, conference wins plus 7, and we picked up a Summit League tournament win. So, year 1 to year 2, I would call that a win.
And Mark?
Yes.
Defending and rebounding are a must.
They are a must. Yep.
Look at this chart. You can see some,
Yep.
the emphasis on defending and rebounding this season. So spectacular.
And we're going to look at that group of seniors years down the road as the one that started to bring us back.
Yep. For sure.
Yep. All right. Some picks, guys. What's going on in here, Mark?
Well, so up at the Summit League tournament, we decided to not go to a Summit League tournament game and went to the Skyforce game. Former Yotes Stanley on San Antonio affiliated. I guess I don't know exactly where the G League team, Austin.
Austin. It says right on his shirt there.
That's not his name. That's yeah.
It's really small. I'm old. But he was gracious enough to snap a pick, and I know the following day Coach Petey was there, and Tristan, and we saw Tyler Hagedorn, some of his old teammates in town as well. So really cool to get a picture with him. And the other picture there is us at the Summit League tournament prior to I don't remember what game. All 3 of us were at the women's game. And then the bottom one there is I took in the Mount Marty Yotes softball game, their first home game of the year, and watched them in chilly conditions defeat Mount Marty by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. And looking forward to many more softball games coming up here, as well as some home tennis over the next few weeks. So still plenty of great opportunities. Track and field, Jordan.
Yeah, so track had the NCAA Indoor Championships recently. Pole vaulters, I mean, we've heard these names last several weeks. Marlene Mula, Anna Willis. They both competed. Mula placed second, got silver with a 15-foot, 1.5-foot. I don't know what it's called. Is it a vault? I don't know. I'm just going to call it a vault. She vaulted 15, 1.5. She earned her 6th All-American honor and 4th indoor All-American honor. GoYotes.com. I believe that's tied with 3 others, including Emily Grove, but you can check out that full recap over on GoYotes.com. Anna Willis placed 3rd, got bronze, 14, 11.5 with her vault, and Willis earned her 2nd All-American honor and 1st indoor All-American honor for Anna. And get to know Anna's name. She's going to go down, God willing, she'll finish her career as one of the best to ever do it at USD. She's young. I mean, she's going to be amazing. So we'll continue to cover her throughout her collegiate career. Now, the duo combined for 14 points, and that was good enough for USD to place 15th in the NCAA in the team standings. And that's the 2nd highest finish ever. I believe, I can't remember the year. Again, it's on the recap, but I think our highest finish was 10th all time. So these two, congrats to Marlene and Anna. For representing USD and for your All-American honors.
Swimming and diving, Jordan.
Yeah, so swim and dive was at CSCAA, and I was looking at GoYotes.com. I did not see results posted. I'm sure if you follow their socials, they will recap that and announce that when they're available, but I believe the event concluded late last night. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, at the NCAA Zone D Dive Championships, Maddox Moore placed 18th at the men's 3-meter dive, made the finals there, placed 18th. And then Charlie Matthews had placed 19th overall in the prelims in the men's 1-meter dive with his score. So I believe there's the total NCAA championships coming up, but I haven't heard or seen anything from swim and dive on if anyone's competing. So this might be it for the Yotes, but I guess stay tuned if there's more. But once again, I said it 2 weeks ago, congrats to swim and dive. Phenomenal historic year with the student athletes and Coach Mahold over there. They did a tremendous job. Lots of records were broken this year.
Broken that new pool pretty nicely.
Yeah, friend of the show, Coach Mahold. Jordan, what does CSCAA SCAA stand for?
Couldn't hear you, Chad. So let's ask again and see what's next.
All right, Mark, softball.
Softball home match on Tuesday. The game time temperature says 50. I'm taking the under on that. Obviously, Mount Marty non-D1, but it was good to see the bats get going. For the Yotes, Madison Evans 3 for 3, 3 runs and an RBI. Brooke Carey 2 for 3 with 2 RBI. Autumn Iverson 2 for 3 with 5 RBIs, and Delaney White 1 for 1 with a couple RBIs as well. So, like I say, dominating performance, 5-inning game over the Lancers. Then we went down to Missouri, and I've had this as my Eyechart several times the last couple of years, but the University of Missouri, SEC school, could not stream all their games that they had down there. So, I don't know. We do it at USD. We do it. Missouri didn't do it, so that's annoying. Kai Johnson went 2 for 4 with the RBI, and El McGee 1 for 2 with 2 runs in the 9-4 defeat. Same score versus Missouri. This one was on ESPN Plus. Autumn Iverson went 1 for 2 with a home run, 2-run shot. Cameron Kirsten 2 for 3 with 2 RBI, and Bradley Hempy 2 for 2. We should get the Coach Piv's little clip of home runs are sexy on the available.
Yeah, we'll have to load that up here.
Oh man, that'd be handy.
Yeah.
And then,
the big one,
the exciting one of the weekend, and I should mention, I think I mentioned at the beginning, the Yotes held a lead in 3 of the 4 matchups with these Power 4 schools. So important to note. But this one did not look good going into the top of the 7th inning. We were down 4-0. And the Yotes rallied for 5 in the top of the 7th. El McGee 2 for 3 with a run. Madison Evans 1 for 4, 2 RBI, which obviously came in the top of the 7th there. Bases loaded, double to score 2 to give us the lead. Dramatic comeback. Obviously the biggest win of the year. And we defeated the Gophers from Minnesota, just like we did in football, men's basketball, and in that WNIT run, women's basketball. So we pretty much own the Gophers, near as I can tell.
I mean, they might as well just join the Summit League at this point.
That's exactly right.
Well, I was going to say, shout out to the friends and family group, though, on Facebook.
Yes.
You mentioned, an SEC school does not broadcast these, but you texted and said, hey, check this out. And I was able to pull it up on Facebook and watch the end of the game. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Really grateful for those folks that they stream every game. Shout out to those parents that follow that team around. Must have a lot of PTO built up.
Man, if we could get that parent to just get one of those like tiny fuzzy mics and give us some commentary during the game, plug that into the phone. That's the next step.
Right.
Well, there was one more game.
Yep. Lots of stuff happened in the finale down in Columbia. Yotes dropped this one. Was that 9-0? I can't. Lots of stuff happened.
Runs 2,000 people at this game. Were they counting pets?
I missed this game, so I don't know if that's an accurate number or not. But
good Lord!
I mean, you look at there was over 500 at the Minnesota game, so 2,000 at the host school. I don't know, it's possible.
That sounds like a lot of people to attend an event where a school can't afford a live stream.
Yeah.
Well, or maybe the people went because there was no live stream.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, what's the saying that you use in the intro? Oh, Chad, don't give me that technically crap.
Clip it.
All right. Next up, we're going to throw a little shout out here to one of our sponsors. Looking for the perfect game day treat? Swing by Dairy Queen in Vermilion, Hartford, or Del Rapids. Whether you're celebrating a big Coyote win or just need a pick-me-up, nothing hits the spot like a Blizzard treat, a classic DQ cone, or your favorite signature stack burger. From after-school stops to post-game celebrations, Dairy Queen is the place to gather, refuel, and treat yourself. Stop into Dairy Queen of Vermilion, Hartford, or Del Rapids today. because every day is a little better with a little DQ. All right, guys. What's your go-to at DQ right now? I've been doing hot fudge Sundays lately. I don't know why.
Really?
Yep.
No,
I'm a Blizzard guy. Give me it depends on the day, chicken strip or the cheeseburger, but you give me the hot fudge. And I'm telling you, I know it's hard to believe for those listening when it's a blizzard outside. No pun intended. Actually, pun intended. But this week when it's going to be 70, Chad, you and I did it over in Hartford. Their patio, I mean, nothing better than sitting there with a meal basket, $7 meal deal basket. You got your little sundae there. You're in shorts. You're in a T-shirt. It's coming.
Yep.
Summer's coming.
Yep. My best friend in high school owned the Dairy Queen in Mobert, South Dakota. And I don't know if this is out of line, but we just said a lot of nice things about Dairy Queen. Could they bring back the Ultimate Burger? Do you guys remember the Ultimate Burger? That was fantastic.
I do.
I mean, that would be, but my go-to right now, chicken strip basket and a mini blizzard cookie dough. Can't beat it.
Yep.
Why is Dairy Queen of Mobridge not a sponsor of the show then, Mark? Anyways, Jordan, every week DQ sponsors the Howling Podcast Player of the Week. This week?
Yes, this week it goes to Marlene and Anna, placing silver and bronze, second and third over at the NCAA Indoor National Championships. The two pole vaulters have been all conference, all Americans. They've represented themselves in USD top of the class this whole season. Outdoors coming up, but this week, Howling Podcast Players of the Week presented by DQ of Vermilion, Hartford, and Del Rapids, Marlene Mula and Anna Willis of USD Women's Track and Field. Congrats, ladies, and way to represent USD.
I think I'm really looking forward to outdoor track season. You guys know why? You know what's a part of outdoor track season?
Getting sunburnt, and I can't wait.
Brake relays. And I'm just looking forward to an epic picture showing up.
Yes.
I hope some of our listeners remember that bulldog kissing picture.
That
All right.
Not dead. That'll come back.
That'll come back. All right. Hopefully we see a new version this year too. Coming up this week, Mark.
Tomorrow at some point, check out social media, goyotes.com, etc. for the WNIT bracket. In our little private chat here, a little birdie told us we might be hosting a game. So be prepared, buy some tickets, get to the SESC when that gets announced. Tennis will be at Minnesota. They're next on the list to defeat the Gophers, 12 p.m. And softball will be at Kansas, take on the Jayhawks for a couple games on the 17th at 1 and 3:30. And then home, Nygaard Field in Vermilion, take on the Jacks on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd to open Summit League play. So
beautiful weather. Get out to Nygaard.
Heck yeah, let's go.
Looking forward to all that stuff. Well, guys, I mean, we always do such a great job of getting through everything, but every week this time, we do.
And that's just what they wanted to do there. And all things considered, again, as you see the Eyechart cardboard cutout, how appropriate.
Through the review, the Eyechart made its way to the video board. It really injected some energy.
Our own Mark Wendt is famous for holding up that Eyechart at men's and women's basketball games when officials make questionable calls. We give our Eyechart of the Week moments for questionable calls that either happen during games or in life. As every week, this week, our Eyechart of the Week is sponsored by Maloney Real Estate. Buying or selling a home could feel a little bit like game day. Exciting, stressful, and you really want the right team on your side. That's where Maloney Real Estate comes in. When you list your home with Maloney Real Estate, you're automatically covered by a $25,000 seller protection errors and omissions policy included at no extra cost. And here's the kicker. That coverage lasts for 180 days after your home sells. It's peace of mind you don't usually get in real estate. And definitely not just a sign in your yard. Maloney Real Estate, more than just a sign in your yard. And I know, guys, every time I drive by a sign, I see it. I think there's a lot more going on than just that sign in the yard.
I got when I pick up the kids on Friday, we head south, and there's a home for sale listed by Maloney, and I got my kids saying there's more than just a sign in the yard there. So
yep, exactly.
Catchy.
Yep. Not
We all
Blaine's
know.
Body Shop catchy, but it's getting there.
Hey, they're not a sponsor. Don't mention them. All right. So the last show winner was Doc's Bar. Obviously, I voted for this one a whole bunch of times. Anytime you throw a watch party when there's a home event, that's automatic vote in my regard. Jordan Decker unofficially gave himself the Eyechart and didn't win there. And then we had the ref USD SDSU swap. Mark, your pick one, so you get to go first.
So obviously today we had a blizzard, a lot of snow, but earlier in the week there was also a precipitation event in our area. It looked like that little white styrofoam little balls. It wasn't rain, it wasn't snow, it was like hail, squishy hail balls. The T Storm Chasers account tweeted out that it's called grapple. I don't know if I'm saying it right even. But was the guy who named the other forms of precipitation on PTO that day grapple? Honey, be careful on your way home. It's grappling now. No, I reject this term. I think it's pretty much given that precipitation should be a 1-syllable word, and ideally it should be 4 letters, with the exception being sleet, which is a perfect word for that form. But grapple is not working for me, so I veto it, and we have to come up with a better word. So whoever named grapple as a form of precipitation, easy for me to say, it sounds like a seafood dish on the Gulf Coast somewhere. It does not sound like what was happening on Wednesday afternoon. So grapple, Eyechart of the week.
All right, Jordan, you're it's still Lent. You gonna talk unofficially here?
Unofficially, if I were to have one, because I'm off Twitter. Glad to see I didn't even come close to winning. I'm kind of on a cold streak, so I'm off Twitter for Lent. If I were to give an Eyechart this week, I don't know. I've been a big proponent of the Summit League being a 2-bid league, especially when the top 2 teams are worthy of it over, a lot of bottom power 4 teams. So I guess if I were to give an Eyechart, it would be to NDSU not getting an at-large. I think they're worthy of it. I think, Jory up there has a great team. And I thought that they were one of the better at-large teams that should have gotten a shot. So if I had an Eyechart, it would be the committee for leaving out NDSU.
Agree.
And that, of course, is in women's basketball.
Women's basketball, yes.
Yes, thanks. Thanks for clarifying. People out there have no clue what you're talking about. Yeah, good thing we follow along, Jordan.
Woo.
All right. My Eyechart of the week this week, I had several nominees. There was a lot that happened since the last time we met. My kid had a concert. Guess what the person behind me did? As soon as the kids started singing. I know. Concert talkers, you got to stop. That's an evergreen one, right? Okay. If you go to concerts, shut up. But my nominee this week for the Eyechart of the week is going to be the people that are going to annoy you at work all week long. These are these so-called bracket experts. These are people that have watched maybe 2 or 3 college basketball games all season. Maybe they caught the ACC title game, and they're going to sit and tell you about how great Duke is. Or maybe they saw the SEC championship game.
Right.
They're going to try to tell you about Arkansas and Vanderbilt and how they've watched them all season. Okay. These people don't know anything about college basketball. Do not listen to a thing they say. If someone tries talking to you about their bracket this week, treat it like fantasy football. Just smile, nod, and start thinking about something pleasant. People that talk about their brackets and these bracket experts, you get my Eyechart of the week.
Tell me you've never won a bracket challenge without telling me you've never.
I've won several of them, Jordan. I've won my fantasy football league too. No one else wants to hear about it. Okay.
I'm just saying, if you need some bracket help, don't ask me. Do not ask me. There's no Oral Roberts 15 seed that's going. No, we done.
Hawaii, go Rainbows.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, news and notes.
Yes.
Mark,
Oh, yeah.
Mark, you want to give that one?
Ray?
What are we doing? Dre Bullock.
Ray Bullock.
Yeah. You
Former
forgot about
Yote.
Dre.
Yes.
Assistant coach. He's actually associate head coach. Brad Davidson, former on the Todd Lee staff.
Yeah.
Great guy, great family. Both on the Rainbows, and they won their conference tournament. They'll be in the NCAAs. I forget who they play. They're out in Portland though. But yeah, we're on the Rainbow train.
Yep. That's a win on my bracket right there.
Correct.
Also, the women's basketball head coaches. We got Ryan Williams, former Yote coach, Kayla with Green Bay, Dawn, Amy. They're all in the tournament. I think Dawn's playing. Minnesota's playing Green Bay, Wisconsin,
Correct.
Green Bay.
Correct. Yep.
So one of them's guaranteed to win.
Next year, it's going to be chaos when there's 5 current and former Yote coaches in the dance. That's going to be fun.
All right. Well, we'll get there next year.
Yep.
But before we do, Mark, tell us about 988.
988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline. No judgment, just help. We say it each and every week. We're not just saying it; we mean it. If you're out there and need help, need some help to get through the night or the week or whatever you have going on, please reach out to them. We would rather you do that or reach out to us than attend your funeral. So, I mean, that's the bottom line. We need you here. We need you around. So if you need it, please use it. 988.
And not only if you need it, but like, let's say someone reaches out to you with something and you don't know how to respond. That's a tremendous resource for you to use as well, or you to refer that to that person. So 988, go ahead and utilize that. Like Mark said, no judgment, just help.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to our title sponsors, 19 Brewing Company, DQ of Vermilion, Hartford, and Del Rapids, and Maloney Real Estate, more than just a sign in your yard. I'm sure there's lots of stuff we messed up on, but hey, until next time, the Howling Podcast is produced by the Wakanda Peach Company, LLC, out of Burbank, South Dakota. Go Yotes.
Grapple is German in origin, Mark.
Don't
there
care.
You go.
It's
the more you know. Go Yotes. Good night, Vermilion.
USA over Dominican Republic.
Let's go!
3 idiots on a podcast. Like,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Runza sucks.
We don't know if any of that's true, but oh, Jordan, don't give me this technically crap. Come on.
Got personal this week.
Lots of stuff happened. Just
Chad Berger, Brian Dawson with USD. Yeah, you're wrong. You guys do it in a really professional manner, and it's awesome.